Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the DDJF Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Power of Love, sponsored by the DDJF Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. I am TJ Jackson, and with me I have my eldest brother, Taj Jackson.
What's going on?
Am I still pixelated, or do I look okay?
Pixelated.
Hopefully it's just your computer.
We can let everyone else comment, but I think you're pixelated.
All right. Well, we are live on the Power of Love show. So if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave them. You could be joining us on Facebook or YouTube. And again, we just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
All right.
Which is an awesome accomplishment, and a big thank you to everyone out there. But we wanted to do a special show. After next week, starting next week, we have 5 guests in a row. So we wanted to, every now and then, we like to do a show on our own where we can answer questions and just kind of, I don't know, just talk about from a normal person's perspective on what's going on in life and how loss and self-improvement and inspiration, all those kind of topics. With that said, we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who've experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it and we've learned from it. Mm-hmm. Saying that, if you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and to find it. Do not just rely on us.
Exactly.
Taj Jackson, real quick, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Just big day for America, as you change.
And with the new inauguration of Mr. Joseph Biden as well as Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly. And then also, I always like Martin Luther. Well, I don't like Martin Luther King Day as much as his birthday. Like it sucks that it's not on the same day, but yeah.
When is his birthday?
On the 15th.
Okay. I should know that. But yes, that's a good point, Todd. We did something. What's that?
You got clear all of a sudden. Good job.
Cool. You said MLK. That's all you needed to say. That was the secret word.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did something, my kids are homeschooled. So we did some homeschooling and talked about MLK and they're actually going to be writing an essay on MLK that they have to present to us on Friday. Wow. So obviously, thank you for mentioning that, Taj, but a huge figure for not only just Blacks and African Americans, but everyone, for humanity. And I hope everyone understands that we all should be celebrating MLK. So, way to say that. Great mention. But anyway, on today's show, we are doing a special 20 questions with TJ and Taj. And we already have the questions picked out. I've picked out some for Taj. Taj has picked out some for me. And then we're going to answer some questions together. Are you ready, Taj, to start on this journey of answering these questions?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do you want to hear the expert before or after?
Todd, I'm going to start asking you, and then we'll alternate. All right. So we're going to have fun with it. Okay, Taj, how are you feeling about having a baby during COVID?
I'm feeling fine now. I think.
Real quick to clarify, you are not. I tested positive for COVID. You do not have COVID, and neither does Tiana or Taylor.
No.
But with that said, during the COVID pandemic.
Oh yeah, during COVID. Yeah, during the, my sister-in-law Thaisa, she had a baby during the whole pandemic, and it was funny because before that I was like, okay, I would never want to have a baby during this pandemic, like just the health reasons and everything like that. But it ended up happening like that, and we wanted to have a baby, and so it was the pandemic kept going and we couldn't wait. So here we are. But I think the safety precautions are good right now. And we have a great doctor, Dr. Silver. So we're in good hands.
Cool. All right. Your turn.
TJ,
Yes.
what kept you positive when you were unwell with COVID? It must have been scary.
Taj, you should never be a narrator.
Oh,
Just letting you know.
I do voices. I don't narrate.
Okay, what kept me positive when? And by the way, Taj does some crazy good voices. He's caught me and got me.
I know
So
my talent. Yeah.
yeah, he. Anyway, what kept you positive when you were unwell with COVID? It must have been scary. It was slightly scary. I was kind of fortunate to not have what I feel was a serious or a hard case of it. I don't know if I just got a smaller viral load. I don't know if my body was just able to defend itself or what. But I didn't have the heart issues of breathing. I didn't have high fevers, so I never really I
Were
did
you
test positive.
anticipating that though? Were you like scared? Because that's the thing. I would be scared. I'd be more scared it could turn for the worse. Were
You
you
know
not?
what it was, Taj? Because Royal was the first one to show symptoms, and he
Mhm.
was a day or two ahead of us.
Oh, so you
So
kind of.
by the time, like, I slept the first 2 days, I had chills, and then by that time, Royal was already feeling a lot better, and then I was slowly feeling better. So it never really. I mean, obviously, I'm older, and there were times where I wanted to make sure, and I was like, I know things can turn bad, but I was being very proactive. I was drinking water, I was resting, and going on light walks to get some vitamin
D.
D? D?
D is
Sunlight?
sun. Yeah.
Okay, vitamin D. Thank you, Taj. But
Well,
yeah, it wasn't as scary as it sounded, to be honest. And I felt great pretty much the entire time.
yeah.
So
Well, you can taste though at one point, right?
I
Or
couldn't taste, I couldn't smell. I could taste the whole
uh,
time. I just couldn't smell. And
okay.
that was, it was a little tricky there.
Okay.
Taj, question for you. Do you believe in the spirit world, heaven? Do you think we'll see our lost loved ones again?
I absolutely do. I've always have, and my faith has never been shaken in that way. I just too many signs that I've had, but besides that, I grew up that way. And do you think you'd see your lost loved ones again? Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that's what kind of helps me have a positive attitude about life in general, is that aspect of it, that it's not so finite life in a way.
Mm. Cool. Your turn, my friend, my bro.
Yeah, your friend.
You're still
Where
my
are
friend.
yeah. Were there any favorite meals your mom made for you growing up?
I was the pickiest eater. So my brothers ate everything my mother made. I was the one who barely ate anything anyone made unless it was from McDonald's.
Glad you
Um,
yeah.
but my mother actually made a simple salad and
Mhm.
tacos.
Mhm.
And I loved both those things every time she made it. It was one of those things where it's like, TJ, you can't have this every day thing. And she made a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich too
Mhm.
that I enjoyed when I was at school.
Yeah.
So I would say those were my favorite meals from mom.
Nice. That's interesting. I would have never picked those. I would have picked like a turkey burger or something else from you. Like I would have guessed that from you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember her I mean, you have the memory and,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the turkey burgers. I remember the tacos and the simple salad.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I love salads, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Taj, was it hard being the oldest brother? Did you feel extra pressure in that role?
Always. Yeah. I mean, I didn't it was hard being the oldest brother because I always had to set the example. And I knew that you guys kind of not only you, mom was watching me pretty hard as well in terms of like she'd always remind me, you're the oldest brother, you got to set the example, you got to, they're looking at you and all that stuff. And I didn't mind it as well because I always kind of had a moral compass, so it wasn't something hard to do. But there was pressure because just in general, I remember I would get in trouble if you guys got in trouble. So
Mhm.
so it was like I had to kind of, and I wasn't a snitch either, so I just had to be tough on you guys to whatever. Mom was tough on me, and I was tough on you. It's like a
Yeah.
chain of
I,
command.
yeah, mom didn't play,
Mom did not play.
and Todd, you were a great big brother. You set a good example, man. You are
I tried.
always calm, collected, and
I had
never
good
getting.
friends though too. Luckily, I really did. I mean,
Mm.
even some of them were wild, but that's because I lived vicariously through them. But they were still good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
efforts.
Nice. All right, Todd, you're up.
All right. Advice for someone who has totally or utterly given up hope. What would you say?
I want to be completely honest because I've never felt this, and I know some out there do feel this, and I want to respect that. But my best advice would be to consistently practice gratitude, and to understand that there will be dark moments in life, and it could feel incredibly painful, incredibly dark. But, tomorrow is another day, and we can play a big part with our mindset and who we surround ourselves around by changing how that feels and what that means to us. So my advice would be to practice gratitude daily and make sure you're around positive people and have a healthy understanding that sometimes things will not go your way. Sometimes things will feel incredibly painful, but there's another day and there's brightness on the other side.
Good one. Clarice had a good point. Try to reach out to someone. That's always good too, because usually when you're in that loss of hope, you kind of internalize it and you're by yourself. And we've said before, you could be your worst enemy. So sometimes it just takes talking to someone. Just remember, it's temporary.
Nice. Taj, are you nervous about becoming a father for the second time?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, it's the first time I was kind of not a mess, but I was a little nervous just because I was the type of person that didn't like holding babies because I was scared I was going to drop them.
Yes,
You remember, I wouldn't hold any of your guys as kids just because of that responsibility. But I knew that I had a good parental instinct and fatherhood instinct. So I'm not nervous about that. It's just they're so fragile at that young age, really, and you're checking for breathing and all that. That's what I get. If I could fast forward, well, you don't want to fast forward those times, but it's that scary time, when they're just like putty.
But Taj, you used to be terrified, but I will
still
say,
am, but I have to deal with it. Like I've been holding.
You're getting better.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
All right, this is going to feel awkward because I'm going to select this question. And again, I didn't ask these questions. We didn't write these questions.
Yeah, can you explain what this is? Questions from?
These are questions from followers, and I believe on Instagram.
Yeah.
Some on Instagram, I think some on Facebook from prior that you guys asked us. We said this was going to be a show about 20 questions with TJ and Taj. So I don't know what number we're on. I think we're on 7. But here's 20 questions. And Taj, this was one that was. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Do I have to say it? You are talented at so many things. What is something you wish you were better at, TJ?
For some reason, I didn't hear the first sentence.
Yeah. You're talented at so many things.
I love you.
Something you wish you were better
I heard that.
I know you did.
There's a lot, actually, I wish I was better. I wish I was better at time management. I am a mess. I'm not a clean person, but I actually don't mind having a mess. I feel sometimes that's just my organizational style. I wish I was better, though, at sometimes saying no. I think I've gotten better with that. I wish I was better at chess. I'm pretty good at chess, but Terrell still beats me whenever. And what else do I wish I was better? I wish I was better at photography. I love it. It's just, I've taken a lot of classes. It's just something about photography doesn't stick so well with me.
Yeah. I
love it though. And I've taken some great pictures, but I wish I was like a professional.
You wish you were interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, Taj, what are you most excited about doing with your children as they get older?
That is a great question. Thank you for asking, whoever asked that question. For me, it's about reliving childhood in a way. Just with Taylor, just seeing some of the same cartoons again. I'm so excited to get her into Disney, Mickey, and all that stuff. She's starting with Mickey and Minnie and all that stuff, but it's like that's watching those movies over and again, or those shorts. It's like that's going to be an exciting time. So I'm most excited about reliving childhood again through them and seeing their excitement.
Cool. All right, you're up.
How do you approach teaching your kids about the negative aspects of life they will face?
It's tough. Some of my kids are very optimistic and resilient, and some, can use more resilience. And I think you just have to tell your kids that life is going to have some difficult moments. Not everything's going to go your way. You have to be resilient. You have to understand that. You have to also respect the power in failing and losing, and understand that there's a lot of growth to be made with a healthy mindset towards failing and losing. So that is something that I think we utilize quite well with sports, especially with tennis, as it's a one-on-one sport. And when you lose, it's on you pretty much. There's not another teammate that shares that loss. So it's really tough to lose. And you have to, we use sports to teach our kids that mindset of, how do you get better? What are you going to do about it? You can get better. It's just a matter of you if you want to get better. And I think it's important to understand or teach to your children that things aren't going to go their way. There's going to be negative people, negative things. You got to brush it off and keep it moving.
Yeah, that word fail is such a strong word, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think loss or losing is better, because fail makes it sounds permanent almost, or
Yeah.
fail in a way, like it doesn't feel like you can bounce back. But there's Claire said too that when you lose, you learn. I think that's the great thing about it. There's always a lesson in it, or either to get better, or what you did wrong, or how you can, overcome the obstacle.
Nice. Taj, is your positivity natural, or is it something you have worked on?
It's definitely something I've worked on. When growing up, I was very insecure and very, I was down on myself a lot. So I wasn't a positive person. I was positive to everyone else, but to myself, I had a lot of, I don't want to say self-hatred, but I didn't like,
Self-loathing?
I didn't like myself. Like I wished I was a bunch of other things, just like a lot of teenagers do, in that way. It was mom's passing that basically kind of changed the course of it, because I kind of created a new identity. As TJ with 3T, it's like it gave me a chance to kind of reinvent myself. Like some people go to a new school or whatever. That career thing helped in that way, but that was artificial. It wasn't real. And then it's just age and kind of experience that made me now like naturally positive. Like now nothing, I'm overly positive. Like there's nothing, something can happen and I still will see the positivity in it. And I like it that way, but it wasn't easy and it wasn't overnight.
Good answer. You're up, my friend. My brother.
How do you celebrate special events during COVID without feeling bad that some loved ones aren't there?
Very difficult. And I actually just spoke about this on a Q&A I did with Francis, where especially for us with young adults who don't live in the house with us, that we, it's tough. We decided to get together and do two separate events to try to make sure it wouldn't be too dangerous, to keep the crowd small. And I got COVID at the second one, and it was like, it was one of those where I didn't know if we should be going, but it's like our son is 21 years old and we want to spend time with him, so especially during this time when, as I said, everyone's feeling alone right now and isolated, and mental health and the struggles of mental health is a real thing. So we didn't do, I don't think we did anything for Thanksgiving, or it was small. But, we're very picky and choosy. Like for Joe's birthday, which was November 30, we didn't do anything. We tried to make sure it was very important events. With that said, we're in crazy times, and you just have to, buckle down as best as you can and juggle and weigh all those pros and cons of getting together. If you are at risk for anything, and I think if we wouldn't have done that, but we are young and healthy and we're able to get through the COVID pretty well. So I think it also depends on your situation.
Yeah. Good point.
Taj, this is your final question. And it is, again, from someone out there. These aren't questions we put together. These are questions you guys put together. But the question is, what is a song that makes you feel better when you are feeling down?
Oh, that's a good point. Good question. I know when younger, it was this song called Petals, Jackson 5 song. You guys heard that song probably a
Thousands.
million, maybe a million times. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
because it was a short song too. I think it was only like 2.5 minutes. So you must have heard that zillions of times. But besides that, like recently, I was kind of in not a depressed place, but in terms of just the state of the world and everything like that. And a song by BTS called Dynamite came on. And I didn't know that song was going to do to me what it did, because it was a happy song, right up my alley, a happy song when the world needed it most during the summer, when everything was kind of hitting the fan and whatever. And I just really enjoyed that. I still play that song every day, like literally, because it kind of gets me in that mood. So yeah, that song makes me feel better when I'm
cool. Nice. Go ahead, Tosh. My final question.
What animal do you most relate to, TJ?
It's a dog.
Yeah.
A dog. I love dogs. Even though I have a cat, I love dogs. They're just man's best friend, women's best friend, and they're very loyal. They're very loving. And there's nothing like a dog. So I think it's a dog.
Yeah.
And like you said, Taj, I mean, I named my first publishing company after my dog, Yabo. And dogs are awesome.
So can you say a little about Yabo in terms of how, with mom's loss, how instrumental?
Yabo was huge, for me. Yabo was, because you guys were in college at the time. I was starting junior year, I believe. Anyway, when mom passed, Yabo was like someone I could hold and that was breathing and that just gave me unconditional love. So, we've said this many times on DDJF, pets are huge. So if you can get a pet, we recommend it, especially if you have kids. They're very therapeutic and very healthy for your kids.
Yeah.
All right, Taj. These questions are posed. We got a final 6 questions. That was question 14. We got a final 6 questions that are posed to both of us.
Ooh,
so I think we should answer them. We don't have to answer them together, but the first one is, do you hope to be able to spread the Music Heals Therapy program worldwide? That answer is absolutely yes. We've done it in LA consistently since we started DDJF in 2015, and programs are going on now, so that's been great. We've done them in Texas, in Houston, when was it Katrina? I should know that, but when there was a big hurricane, we did Music Heals all the way out there. Our favorite music therapist, we sent him down there to do his part over there. So we plan on extending, and especially with now being able to do it on video calls, it's something we definitely want to do.
100%. Yep. Good.
Taj, I'm gonna let you answer this one. How would you deal with a father who is absent in your life?
Oof, that's a hard question.
You want me to answer that, or you want to?
I can take a stab at it. I mean, I think the hardest thing is, sometimes not thinking it's your fault. In a way, I think that's you could be your worst enemy, and you could think you drove him away, or why doesn't dad love me, or whatever. And knowing that it's not your fault, there could be 1,000 million things of why he's absent in your life. He could just be a bad dad, or there could be circumstances that you just don't know until you grow up and learn. In a way, he could have been kept away.
Such a great answer.
So, thank you, T. So I think it's not putting the blame on you, because I think that's what kids do at that age in that way. And I think you carry that into adulthood. You're always looking to supplement that or fill that hole in that gap. So
that's a great answer, Taj. And I mean, I wouldn't have answered it that way, but I'm going to add to it, but if I don't know if I could top that. I think, like you said, a lot of people blame themselves, but I think it's just to find, and maybe a parent or someone can help find another mentor, another figure that could be a great person to you. Sometimes it's not going to be your blood father or your biological father who plays that role, but There are many people out there who know how to help guide a young person that's a paternal figure. So I wouldn't close it out, and like Taj said, don't blame yourself, and also don't think that because your father's absent you can't find that guidance.
Mm-hmm.
um Taj and TJ, how do you manage to not let fame go to your head?
Well, I mean, we hung around the most famous person in the world. So for us, it was never like it was degrees of fame, and we knew we weren't anywhere close to that. And we couldn't understand that this person was so humble and nice and respectful to everyone else. There's no excuse for anyone else to be egotistical or talk down to people and all that stuff. It's one of the most disgusting things to me when someone reaches fame and they start abusing, that fame.
Yeah, well said. TJ and Taj, what age would you want to be again?
Ooh.
I think it would be 21, 22. I think that's a great age, but I actually love the age I'm at now. There's some things I want to improve: my physical health, my spiritual health, even my mental health. But I feel like I've grown a lot, and that's a beautiful thing. So I would say 21, 22. But if you said what age would you have to be stuck at, I may even say this age right now, 40 to 42.
Yeah, that's a good question because I love where I'm at right now. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So this age would be the age that I'd want to be again. But at the same time, I love my childhood. And at the age of 12 was like when everything was good in life for me in that way. There's no real trauma yet at that point. I mean, there was, but I could manage it in that way. And I had two parents under the same roof.
Yeah.
So, and all stars and all that stuff. So it was a good time. Everything was clicking, school and all that stuff. And there's an innocence to being a child before you hit a teenager year,
Yeah.
and it's that kid. And so I love being, I try and hold on to that.
Great. TJ and Taj, if you were given 5 minutes, this is, by the way, question number 18. So TJ and Taj, if you were given 5 minutes with your mother, what would you say to her? I'll let you start, Taj.
If I was given 5 minutes with mom, I wouldn't say anything. I'd want to hear what she had to say. Because there's so many memories that I've lost and so many memories. So I would cherish those 5 minutes, and I just want to kind of soak them up. I wouldn't spend them on me talking. I'd want to hear her for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I agree, Taj. I would tell her, obviously, I love her. I would thank her, but I would spend most of it just holding her and just hearing her talk and just soaking that in. So I think you said that perfectly well.
Thank you.
TJ, Taj, is it hard to run a nonprofit foundation during these uncertain times? Will you continue to do the show virtually once the pandemic is over? Yes, it is difficult running a nonprofit foundation regardless, to be honest. During these certain uncertain times, it is challenging, but we are committed to DDJF and our mission, and we have a great board who's also committed. We have some great members who do so much that you guys just see us, but they're doing so much behind the scenes to give the foundation even more substance and weight. So I think at the same time, with Zoom and virtual conference calling, it's been easy in some sense to stay connected. As far as will we continue to do the show virtually once the pandemic is over? Taj, I'm gonna let you answer. You know that answer, so I feel like I'm talking too much.
Yes, yeah, we will. You're not talking too much, but yeah, we're loving this format. We're loving talking to you guys, and I do have to shave when to come on here, but besides that, it's enjoyable. I get to we feel more interactive with you guys.
Even on today's show, even though we didn't put up comments and see, I haven't really looked at the comments so far.
I've been looking at them.
You're always looking, but this is, I think, the first show I haven't even looked at the comments. But like you said, it's been more engaging, not only for us, but from what we hear from you guys. So we will continue to do it this way. I think it's cooler because you can catch us on Facebook or YouTube and the podcast. You can always catch us on our podcast, but now with Facebook and YouTube, I think it's more accessible for people. So we will definitely continue this. Taj Jackson, our final question number 20. Will you do a DDJF t-shirt giveaway like you did with the DDJF masks? So I am going to answer this.
Yes, that's right.
Because we have a cool announcement. There is officially, you may be saying, what DDJF t-shirt? Well, check this out, everyone. We are happy to show you, boom. Yes, DDJF merch. Announcing now out today for the very, very first time. If you use the promo code Music Heals, you get 10% off your purchase. The proceeds after Teespring, yes, we are with Teespring. After they take their costs, all the proceeds will be going to our Music Heals programs. Again, our board, none of us are paid. We are all doing this from our heart and to help and to try to make the world a better place. All in the name of my lovely mother who believed in that and did so much for community. But yes, that is. So I guess I should answer the question. Will you do a DDJF t-shirt giveaway like you did with the DDJF mask? Yes, I think that's a cool idea. So we will run it up the flagpole and make sure our board is with it. And I'm sure they will be. And we will do a t-shirt giveaway. With that said, again, you saw the DDJF merch. Today's the first day. You can get 10% off with the promo code Music Heals. That's a great way to support the foundation or finally get merch. Taj, is there anything else before we wrap up this show that you want to say?
I will be doing a gender reveal. I know you've already seen it, but a public gender reveal. So I guess it might be on Instagram. I'll probably announce it on Twitter, but it'll be on Instagram eventually very soon. Should have done it a little while ago, but I didn't want to get caught up with everything else that's happening right now.
Well, I've told you many times, congrats on baby number 2. I'm not going to say the gender. I'm not going to reveal it. I'm excited to watch it again with everyone else. Yeah. Finally, I guess we should wrap up the show, Taj. We want to thank you all again for watching, for listening to us, however you're soaking this live in. We want to remind our Facebook community that there is an official Facebook group that continues to grow, that provides support, and you can provide support. If you like catching us on YouTube, we want to remind you to subscribe. And same with the podcast. If you're listening to us on the podcast, feel free to leave a review if you're enjoying the show. It helps others who may be looking for this kind of content find us. So on behalf of my brother Taj and our entire foundation, we want to thank you guys for all the support. If you want to learn more about DDJF, make sure to go to www.ddjf.org. Besides that, we will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. You guys have a wonderful